order, 7:30. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together today to do the will of the people who sent us here. Let us work together and find solutions for every problem that we may face, and let us do it in love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Powell?
Here.
Mr. Bronner?
Here.
Mr. Bishop's absent. Mr. Boehner?
Here.
Mr. Tomlin?
Here.
Mrs. Kroger? Here. Mrs. Adejiko?
Here. I'll make a motion to excuse Mr. Bishop.
Second it.
All right, we have a motion to excuse Mr. Bishop made by Mrs. Adejiko. There was a tie between Mr. Bronner and Mr. Tomlin. Who wants it? We'll give it to Mr. Bronner today for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Mr. Bishop is excused. Voice vote. All righty, approval of minutes. We have two sets of minutes to approve. Are there any objections to the minutes that were
I
sent?
move that we adopt both meetings. minutes.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Boehner and a second by Mrs. Kroger to approve both sets of minutes from the previous meetings. Those would be from January 18th and February 1st. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries by voice vote. All right, audience participation, audience before speakers. We have one audience person today, 47 chairs in here, somebody added another one. We have one regular visitor. Oh, you can speak anyway, all right. Okay, so no one asking for audience participation. I think I will hold on to the communications. Where are we putting, here we are. We'll do that after the, yes.
Okay.
We'll do, so the two things, Ms. Kotcher, that I mentioned earlier, we'll do in communications. So, we have a guest speaker, Mrs. Kate Crusham, the branch manager of the Reading Public Library. Please come forward. You almost have to eat that microphone to be heard.
I'm used to Miss Kate at the library. That's
Miss
what
Kate,
everyone calls
okay.
me, yeah. So thanks for letting me speak tonight. I just wanted to take a few minutes to update the community on some things that are happening at the library. We kind of changed our hours a little bit during the pandemic, but we have recently expanded our hours. So we're now open on Sundays from 1 to 5, Mondays and Tuesdays 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Wednesday through Saturday 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So those of you in the community who haven't been to the library recently, I just want to make sure everybody knows we do have something for everyone. Beyond the traditional collection, books, magazines, CDs, DVDs, we have a variety of other services. So we are able to fax documents anywhere in the United States for no charge. That's a relatively new service that we provide, and it's very well used, but we just want to make sure everybody knows about that. We can also print paperwork and fax that paperwork to Hamilton County Jobs and Family Services. It's tax season, so if anyone needs tax forms printed out, we can do that at no charge as well. And we are currently helping people just to help people in the community by printing documents up to 20 pages at no charge. So anything that you need printed up to 20 pages, that'll be free. Also, somehow it's a secret for a lot of people that we have a drive-through in the back of the building. So for those who don't want to get out of their car, you can pick up your materials at the drive-through window. And we also can fax and print for people at the drive-through window as well. And as of last year, we are no longer charging for overdue materials. So there's no longer any late fees at the library. I know that stops. Bo, you can come back.
Yeah,
now.
I can come back now. Thank you.
I know that's prevented people from using the library in the past, and we're really trying to make sure that the library is available to all that would like to use it. And as always, we welcome young visitors to the library, so we have a variety of things going on at the library for young people. We have weekly story time with our children's librarian, Miss Kelly. That's Wednesday mornings at 10:30. We also have a really great homework helper, Mr. Steve. And he is at the library Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. And he'll help kids from kindergarten through 8th grade with their homework or really with any enrichment. If they need some help with reading or math, he'll pull some stuff and work with them on that. Also, in partnership with UMC Food Ministry, we provide a meal service to youth. So pre-pandemic, we had this as a snack service every day of the week. But right now, on Mondays from 3 to 5, while supplies last, children 18 and under can pick up a box. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but it's a big box of food. It contains 7 meals, they're shelf stable, and 7 snacks for the week. So that's Monday from 3 to 5. Just come through the back of the building by the drive-through. Someone will be there to distribute those. And at this time, we are allowing parents to pick those up for children because they're pretty heavy boxes. We also offer an after-school program for kids, school-age kids, every Tuesday at 3:30. And then for adults, we have 2 book clubs going on. We have an adult book club that's just general fiction. We pick a different book every month. It's held the last Thursday of each month at 1:30. We also have a new book club called Parenting by the Book, where we read parenting books, and then caregivers are welcome to bring their children along for a play date. That's held the second Monday of each month at 10 a.m. We have a craft night for adults on the first Tuesday of the month at 6 o'clock. And that is a lot of information. So if anyone needs any more information on that, you can visit our website, cincinnatilibrary.org. You can also call the branch at 365-4465 for more information on any of those events. And just a reminder to anyone who is working with a group or an organization in the community, we do have that very nice meeting room that can be reserved at no charge to members of the community. So I hope to see everyone at the library soon, and I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. Any questions for me?
Anybody? Seeing none? All right. Thank you, Ms.
Great,
Kate.
thank you.
Thank you.
So that was our one guest speaker. No executive session scheduled, any needed? Okay, good. Legislative session, reading of resolutions. I don't have any. Does anyone else have one? Nope. Ordinances. Okay, just checking. Yes.
Real quick, the only thing that I wanted to do was discuss the rules and regulations for council procedure to see if everyone had a chance to review them and if we could, and make a motion to vote on approving them tonight.
Okay, so good question. Has everyone had a chance to read the?
Yeah, I've got mine. I want to ask a question. I know there is on there that the mayor will come to committee meetings, or council committee meetings, I should say, or council meetings, period, if requested. But there's nothing there about Patrick coming to a council meeting. Is that a misstep, or is that just?
I think it's under the impression as any other department head where they're asked to come as an invited guest, but not required to attend.
Okay. I mean, I think it's, quite honestly, I think it's part of the job, the safety service director, to attend council meetings, not necessarily committee meetings, unless there's something special going on. But council meetings, there's always questions come up, and Bo does answer most of them, but there's some things that only safety service director can answer. And I think it's important that he show up at the council meetings.
We know what Patrick has every intentions to do that. And also remember to, please call him, email him anytime. So, but anyway, he does. He plans on being here. He's, has things that keep him busy as well. So please don't hesitate to call,
Okay.
email, but he plans on being here plenty.
Yeah, I know that was something that wasn't in the previous rules either. And I think what you're mentioning is under the mayor's report to council, where it says the mayor shall attend council meetings, regular and special, when requested by council. So there was never mention that I know of in any of the previous, or the previous set of rules that I had that.
The ones I wrote, it mentioned both of them to come to every council meeting.
So is that a motion to amend?
No, I'm not amending them, I was just asking.
Yeah. I went off what we had had before and then any changes that were suggested during the committee meeting. But I think that's it. 'Cause I don't think there was any mention of safety service director in the previous meeting, or the previous rules. I don't-
No, the only time safety service was, mentioned was the ones that Bob had given everybody.
Okay, so, council members, these are not my rules to vote on, these are yours, but let me just add, in years past, many years past, it used to be a tradition at least, that the safety service director would show up. It's up to you what you vote on. I don't get a vote on this, so you get to live with it. So if you're ready to,
I'd like to second the motion to vote on the rules that were approved out of committee.
all right, so we have a motion by Mrs. Edichico, second by Mr. Bronner, to approve the committee, not the committee, the council rules. Is that correct?
Yes.
Council rules, okay. This time, we're gonna go for a roll call vote, just so we have everybody on the record.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Bronner,
Yes.
Mr. Boehner,
No.
Mr. Tomlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Kroger,
Yes.
Mrs. Edichico.
Yes.
So we have 5 yes, which is, I believe, sufficient for the rules to carry.
And then I would also like to make a motion to, I don't have my notes from last meeting, to approve the committees as they stand with the chairperson and the committee members.
Okay, so the council rules that you just adopted abolished all of the committees. But in the first meeting of this year, of this session, everybody agreed to the committees. So the motion is to keep the committees as agreed from January 1st, correct? Or
Yes.
January, whatever that first meeting.
Yes.
Fourth.
January 4th, okay?
Second.
So motion by Mrs. Edichico, second by Mrs. Kroger to keep the current committees. We'll do roll call on that one too.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Bronner,
Yes.
Mr. Boehner,
Yes.
Mr. Tomlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Kroger,
Yes.
Mrs. Edichico.
Yes.
So we have 6 yes, that carries 2. Any others?
Yes, please.
You're in miscellaneous business because there's nothing here for the mayor, but that's okay, go ahead.
Well, there you go. I'll be in trouble. One other thing to vote on, I recommend Mark Bishop to be a council representative for our Community Improvement Corporation. You know, it's an economic development tool for our city. I think their main purpose is to help keep the businesses we have here and to attract new businesses. And Dave Powell is on it now, but we need a new member. So anyway, I think that might take a voice vote is all, but
So actually, we need a motion from somebody on council. I can't make the motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so motion by Mr. Boehner,
Second it.
and seconded by Mr. Bronner. There's so many bees on that side. Need a hive over there. To
Elect Mark Bishop
elect
as
Mark
what?
Bishop as
Community
council representative to the Community
Improvement
Corporation.
CIC.
CIC, yeah.
Does he know about this?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
He was asked. That was my
Happens when you don't
first.
show up.
That's what he gets for going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
He'll be voluntold. Okay, well, we'll do this one by voice vote. It looks like everybody's in agreement, but, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, he's it. Good luck.
Time for a few others? Or-
Go
or
ahead.
am I?
No, you're fine.
You know, again, we can't remind people enough, please call 911 with any fire, police, EMS emergency, please. You know, if someone does dial 733-4122, and many people have for many years, from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, there should be a clerk on duty to answer that call. If someone is sick, if someone is on vacation, we won't. We just have 2 clerks. However, you dial 733-4122. If someone doesn't pick up, it goes to 911. It will prove to be quicker. You know, they have resources we don't, and it's a savings, again, of several $100,000 for us. You know, for years, it was $15 a call that we were charged per 911 call. It's now $5. So it became really financially irresponsible for us. So anyway, if people please, 911, any police, fire, EMS, emergencies. You know, the other, please remove parked cars from our streets as best you can with any snow or ice emergencies. We just had an incredible one. Helps tremendously for that to happen, so keep those roads clear. Another one received complaints about Thurn Ridge Drive is going to be an incredible project for us. Again, over a $2 million project, $1 million grant. But one of the things a lot of people never paying attention to is water mains. And we had an old 3-inch in diameter water main on Thurn Ridge Drive, and that road was cut into a multitude of times for water main breaks. We now have a brand-new 8-inch in diameter water main. Now, as we speak here, Adlita Construction is completing all the tie-ins from that new water main to homes. It takes a while, especially this time of year. They're installing all new catch basins. You know, it means concrete has to be poured, which means weather has to cooperate. Long story short, it's going to be a very challenging, very frustrating, very time-consuming project. There are going to be days when people won't be able to get into their driveways. You know, I got a call 9 o'clock Sunday night, you know, from someone saying their driveway was blocked. And we made an alteration today. There were 4 driveways blocked. First thing this morning, I got a chance to drive it. They knocked on each of the 4 doors, Friday and Saturday. 3 of the doors answered, 3 of the people moved their cars. 1 home did not answer. They weren't there either Friday or Saturday. From now on, they will leave a note, both at the front and the back door. A note wasn't left, and again, we kept check for it. But, you know, I'm sure Scott, Tom, and everybody else can tell you, construction's incredible. If we had waited, this project, again, all trees were removed. It's going to be all new sidewalks, all new curbs, all new aprons. The road's going to be widened 3 feet, 18 inches on both sides. Adlita gets ready to start, and when the street got widened, they had to move gas boxes where people's gas that goes, natural gas to their homes. So Duke holds up Adlita, you know, for a good month or 2. Long story short, if we had waited to spring, it would have gone into next winter. So we started as quickly as we could in hopes that by the end of this summer it will be completed. But it's going to take a lot of patience from everyone. I remember Reading Road Streetscape. You know, every week we would get a set of calls, the Pru's Construction, the businesses they were in front of. You know, it was devastating to them. But a week later, those people were all happy, and it was the next set of businesses. And that's what's probably going to happen here on Thurn Ridge Drive. But anyway, please, we have a foreman on that job. He's there every day. If you have any complaints, call City Hall, 733-3725. You can call me, 513-509-8619. You know, another good thing for our city is each and every one of us now, other than Katie, if you know how to spell our last names, it's our first initial. Yeah, and that's, well, that's all right. But first initial, last name at readingohio.org. You spell out Reading, you spell out ohio.org. So send any of us a message. Again, if you need answers immediately, 911 is even going to have general information from the city to answer. But if it's something they can't answer and they feel like it's something we need to know, they'll get a hold of us. So, again, a lot of patience is going to be needed for Thurn Ridge Drive. The other one, you know, always please slow down as you drive. That's always a major issue here. And, again, contact any one of us, you know, anytime you need any information. I think that's it, Dwayne.
Okay. All right, I do have a couple of things. A note was handed to me. I'll just read it. As a Reading resident, and this person asked for anonymity, so I'm not using that person's name. As a resident of Reading for 20-plus years, I'm concerned about the city's current financial situation. Reading's $8 million yearly operating budget is unsustainable. Discontinuing consideration for new, expensive projects, the city should internally audit whether or not all apartment dwellers and other renters are paying their local income tax. Additionally, City Council should consider amending the tax law to make it a 1% tax while requiring all residents to file and pay income tax regardless of age and income sources. Since Reading's local income tax is the highest in Hamilton County, Reading needs to focus on being competitive with other communities to avoid making it more economical to live elsewhere. please, okay, please do not reveal my name as the rest of it. Okay, so,
Can I respond to that?
yes, go ahead.
Well, want to tell people this, under Mel Gertz is our treasurer, and under Brenda Owens right now, and with our incredible deputy treasurers, you talk about on it to make sure people pay their taxes, in a polite, respectful manner. Our tax department does an incredible job. Number two, we went from 1.5 as an earnings tax rate to 2%, to save our city departments. Cut it from 2 to 1.5 again, and I imagine you'd take a good $1.5 million a year out of our general fund budget, and we all know what that would mean. That we're people, just like our schools. I imagine close to 90% of our dollars, 85% to 90%, are people. Between their pensions and their benefits and their salaries. In 2006, and again, I'm an anti-tax, small government mayor. Don't like taxes at all. If we hadn't gone from 1.5 to 2, we would be hurting. To this day, we would not have the services we have, period. So, number one, I don't think that there's anyone in this city that should be paying taxes that aren't. In fact, we get the complaint every year, everybody has to file, and people that have no income, get their notices in the mail that have no income. And they have to come here and file. Is that correct, Brenda? And they don't like it, but that's how these guys are thorough, and again, in a very
Okay,
respectful manner.
all right, I will forward that on. However, I would like Mr. Boehner, if you wouldn't mind, to go back about 20-something years to what got us into the financial bind that we experienced in the early 2000s and how we've come out of that. I believe you were on council at the time.
I can't think of right now what went on in 2000.
Had to do with the electric bond, going back that far to the,
Well, no, we got the, if you're talking about the Rainbow Streetscape, that was funded by the $4 million that was, came due to us from the sale of the water plant to Cincinnati Water. We had a one-time opportunity to do the streetscape, and that was right about 2000 or 2001, I think it was. But we funded that project completely on that. I don't think we might have did a little bit of a bond issue, but I know there's a bond.
Streetscape, we did, yes.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the electric bond, the sale of the electric plant to well, Cincinnati Gas and Electric at the time.
yeah. You're talking about the $4 million,
Yes.
right? We used that $4 million for economic development and to fund the better part of the streetscape on Reading Road. Now, that bond is coming due, I think, it's going to be paid off next year, 2023, I believe. Sabrina's not here, but I think I had a discussion with her last summer. I think that bond gets paid off in 2023. Is that what you're looking for?
Well, Dwight, I can help if you want.
Go ahead, jump in.
I was elected to council, November 1999. And I believe in 1996, the city of Reading tried to pass a 0.5% earnings tax increase. It failed. 97, they came back with a 0.25% earnings tax increase. It failed. They tried to pass along the cost of garbage, because at the time the city paid entirely for garbage. That failed through council. Come 2000, we're in deep trouble. Come 2002, 2003, we are spending $800,000 more per year than what we bring in. In 2001, the electric bond.
Do you remember the reason for that? For the over expenditure?
Oh, yeah.
You want to
Well,
talk
I'll
about
tell
that?
you what, Dwight, I'll tell you why. Expenses were rising, and council knew it. That's why they tried to pass a 0.5% earnings tax increase. It never made it in 97, 96 and 97, a 0.25%. They saw it coming. Businesses weren't growing here at the rate the price of doing business was. 2001 was a blessing and a curse. We got $4 million, a one-time inheritance. And as I think we put $1 million down on Reading Road streetscape. It had been talked about for 20 years. And I think we borrowed $1.5 million on that. And like you say, it'll be paid off next year. So there went $1 million of the 4. You know, like I say, we overspent $800,000. We had to borrow from that in 2002, another $800,000, 2003. As I became mayor January 1st of 2004, we had $600,000 of that left with a prediction from our auditor, and a very experienced auditor, Doug Sands at the time, saying we were going to overspend by $1.1 million. So 2004. You know, I think everybody thought that we would be in a fiscal emergency by June of 2004. We made it. We were forced to do things. And again, it's neat for the education year. One of the first things we did, totally unpopular, because Rick Conrad and the Conrad family were wonderful families. We went from a full-time recreation director to part-time. Saved us $40,000 a year. Cost us $56,000 for a full-time rec director in 2003. It cost us $15,000 in 2004. Same way with the city clerk. Saved us $40,000 a year. Went from $56,000 a year down to $15,000. They went to part-time. Then we started not replacing people. You know, every service department person, I believe if you look in our 2001 history book, we had 20 or 21 full-time service department people. As they retired, we didn't replace them. Safety service director come in, took a 15-20% cut in pay. He should have been paid $70,000 that first year, was paid $55,000. We sold land to MSD, $150,000, $130-some thousand, I believe, to put retention facilities. We had sanitary sewer, 700, 52 million gallons of raw sewage into the Mill Creek. They built big retention facilities. You know, really when it would rain, it would blow the lid off of this sanitary sewer, and out would come everything unimaginable. But anyway, long story short, we made cut after cut after cut. So then what do we have to do? Still wasn't enough. To get to $1.1 million in savings is a lot. And one thing you can't do as a mayor is tear up contracts. And once again, that's 80-90% of what we spend. You can't tear them up. They're agreed to. They're a contract. So we passed along the cost of garbage, $350,000 a year. Hated doing it. You know, we found out exactly how many homes we had. We went through that, still not enough. And then was the 0.5% earnings tax increase. And it bailed us out. But it was a slow but sure process. People saw it coming for years. A lot of it, there wasn't the political will to do it. You know, as for me, you know, I had a simple choice, and Bud Elmlinger was here. Either watch our city go extremely down. $1.4 million a year is what it was estimated that would bring in year one a 0.5% earnings tax increase. Thank God 20% of it on the ballot went to Streets and Curbs Fund. We never had a dedicated road fund here, never. And, you know, to get grants, you know, you can offer up to 10%, I believe, of the loans. We weren't able to do, or I'm sorry, you're able to offer up to 50% of the amount of grants, of the grant dollars that you're asking for to get state grants. Well, they want the biggest bang for their dollars, so people that were offering 50% were getting the grants. We weren't. So right off the bat, that was 20% of the new dollars, $350,000 a year approximately. You know, the 1.4 million went into an account for streets and curbs only. So anyway, it was a long story, right? And we survived it, the grace of God and a lot of hard work from a lot of people, a lot of sacrifice. And you know what? Businesses loved it. You know, the only thing they didn't like about it, it passed in May, and I don't think any of us realized it was retroactive to the first of the year. And businesses sure didn't like that because they had to go back and make all that right with employees. It was a pain, true pain. Brenda, you're glad, you know, it was, you know, Dave Stevenson, you know, I guess that's just the way it was. You can't have two different tax rates in the same year. But other than that, businesses love it because you know what? And businesses have increased here with the higher rate because they love our city services, for one. They love where we're at. They love what we do. And, you know, if that hadn't happened and the services had gone down, I think we would have lost businesses here. So in the middle of all that, we got a brand new, wonderful library. So anyway.
So that's why I wanted certain people who were around at the time to
But that in a nutshell.
speak about the experience. Because I do remember those days.
Yeah, it was agonizing days. A lot of sacrifice here, a lot of sacrifice. Including, I'll tell you what, my wife walked into my mayor's office January 1st, 2004, said, we're going to remodel this. And I said, no, we're not. Hasn't been touched to this day. New phone and a new computer, the only thing done in there. You know, and look at this. We've been talking about remodeling this for years. Our safety service director's office. I'll tell you what, we had some of the orneriest looking carpet in the planet that was finally new wood, or whatever they call it, new flooring installed there, 4, 5, 6 years ago. It was awful. So anyway, we've really lived very frugally here. I'm proud of it. You know, we don't want a Taj Mahal, at least I don't. You know, I'd rather our money go into things that citizens use more. We need a new track. You know, wouldn't be totally bad to have something better, more remodeling here, but our departments don't live in poverty here. They truly don't. And we talk about it all the time. And I know this new council has new ideas. Andy had a good meeting with Patrick today. By the way, in the last couple weeks, Patrick's met with Mark Bishop, with Bob. You're all welcome anytime here, and we're welcome to all the new ideas. But as a city government, quite honestly, I like living frugally here, really do. Safety service director used to have a car, doesn't have a car anymore. Mayor used to have his own parking spot in the car, doesn't have either anymore.
Did you sell the parking spot?
We put it up for handicap, ain't like that. So anyway, it's been a long, rough time. Now, things look mighty good for us. But I'll tell you this, if I were you guys, I'd be very cautious. Once again, our general fund's a little bit over $8 million. Auditors tell us to keep, 15% in reserve funds for rainy day. That'd be $1.2 million. You know, there might be that much sitting today with a boatload of desires and things, you know, a track that kids can't run on. People use it all day, every day. It goes on down the line. There's so many needs here. Fire department's going to need a fire truck here in the coming years. Todd Owens will be addressing that. Those things are $750,000 and up. You know, a lot of needs, a lot of water mains still need done, a lot of roads need done. But all in all, again, on the other hand, I don't complain. You know, I say I'm the most blessed mayor alive. I'm tickled with what we have, the people we have, and the things we accomplish with you know, what we are given. I think Kevin Kaiser always said that when he was fire chief, we provide the best possible city services with the resources we're given, and all in all, we do pretty good. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't dream and plan for the future. It doesn't. But I'd be cautious moving forward. So that's me.
Thank you. Okay, I do have one other thing. This is a follow-up on myself from the last meeting. So after the superintendent's presentation at the February 1st meeting, I mentioned that the school district is a separate taxing authority, and I verified with Mr. Enix at that time that the 9.99 mil property tax levy was already voted by the school board it's to be on the May 3rd primary ballot this year. Since then, I've been asked what that means and why the city, in air quotes, did that. So I'm going to provide this explanation. The City of Reading is incorporated under the Ohio Revised Code in Title VII Municipal Corporations. The city's taxing authority is provided in Chapter 718 Municipal Income Taxes. Cities, unless somebody can correct me, I was hoping Mr. Stevenson would be here, but he's not. Cities are only allowed, as far as I could tell in the ORC, only allowed to institute an income tax, not a property tax. The tax levy on the primary ballot is a property tax. The city had no say in whether the school tax levy question would be on any ballot. Therefore, the city didn't do it. The Reading Community School District is incorporated under the Ohio Revised Code as well, but that is found in Title 33, Education and Libraries. Section 3311.02 defines a city school district. The Board of Education is defined in Chapter 3313, and its taxing authority is established under Chapter 3315. Under Chapter 3316, the state of Ohio has started a fiscal watch on the school district. This is did anybody else get that idea from Mr. Enix's presentation?
Absolutely.
There's fiscal watch on the school district. And one outcome of that is the state pressuring the school board for a tax levy to maintain the operating budget in the black for the next 5 years. It was the school board that voted for the property tax levy in question to be on the primary ballot. So two separate taxing authorities. This is what I meant when I said that 2 weeks ago. So the city of Reading and the Reading Community School District are two separate entities under the Ohio Revised Code and by law must operate independently of each other. Specifically, the city cannot institute a school tax levy, and neither can the school district institute a city income tax. However, the line that separates the city of Reading from the Reading School District gets very blurry, since the whole of the school district lies within the city and no other school districts are present within the city. It is important to keep the legal distinction in mind as we discuss taxes, properties, daily operations, and cooperation between the city and the school district. I'll send that to you later, Mrs. Concha.
Thank you.
Any questions on that?
Just a comment, Dwayne, as far as the school district, they actually include a portion of Sycamore Township as well.
Yeah.
There's, I think, an extra precinct in the school district that is outside of the city.
Interesting. I was not aware of that, but thank you.
You know, and the separation becomes blurry when it's a lot the same people. You know, it's the people, you know, that live within the city and also get to vote on school issues, so it does get to be.
Dynasty or all in the family?
What's that? I don't know if I'd catch that one, Dwight.
That's all right.
You explain to me later.
I'll explain it later. All right, so
I'm watching the
that's
TV.
all I have for miscellaneous business, unless, Mrs. Owens, you have something? No. Okay. Anybody else under miscellaneous business? Okay, that ends what I have on the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I've got a service committee report.
Oop, sorry.
Oh,
meeting tonight.
okay, well, you should raise your hand for miscellaneous. We're going to back up because that falls under miscellaneous business, but I'll keep your motion there. Go ahead.
The service committee met tonight with Shelley and Andy here. Darrell Courtney and John Vance and Mark Elrod were here. John is Darrell's second in command, and Mark is the top mechanic. They have a laundry list of things that they're looking for on the capital side, equipment. It's interesting to note that the street sweeper is over 30 years old, can't find parts for anymore, breaks down constantly. That's going to cost a lot of money, but it's something that needs to be done. Another leaf machine is also so old that they can't find parts for it anymore, but they may be able to buy one refurbished for $30,000 instead of buying a new one for $60,000. Patrick's looking right now for a grant on the leaf machine. That's possible to get a grant. We'll have another service committee meeting next month or the month after when some of the other committees have met, because one of the ideas that popped out of this is the idea of funding some of the capital funds with the scrap metal that they generate, taking the rental truck fees, and any other ideas that we come up with to fund their capital needs. Like you were saying, the fire department needs to do fire truck. The Social Security Administration is billed by the fire department every time it's a paramedic run. And so all their capital needs in the fire department are paid for through that fund that the Social Security Administration is billed that money. And the fire department does a good job figuring out years in advance when they need a new fire truck, new EMS unit, and they know roundabout how much money will be put in there every year. And Darrell and his people are trying to do the same thing on a much smaller scale, but it'd be interesting if we can make that work. So we'll be talking about that more next month, hopefully next month. And I will give you a copy of this too, Carla, tomorrow.
Thank you.
Any
You know,
questions?
on a given fourth Tuesday, and maybe in the fourth Tuesday of March, if you guys want, Police Chief, Fire Chief, Chief Public Works would be willing to come in. They would prefer y'all to get questions to them in advance as much as possible so that they can be prepared, and they would prefer a casual night to start with. So if you guys want to think about a fourth Tuesday, that was brought up again in staff meeting today, and they would love, I know our fire chief would love it, our police chief would love an opportunity. We got the body cameras to talk about, so you guys let me know and then get questions together and we'll get it to them. And
How much lead time do you think they'd need, by, like, if we decided something at the first meeting in March, would that give them enough time?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. They're really looking forward to it. Again,
Okay.
they need to, they want to talk. to y'all. They all need you, and so anyway, please get questions ready, and if not, they'll come here and give you a pretty good idea of what they do all day, every day.
Anything else for miscellaneous business? Wrapping up, comments, questions, anything? Okay, so now moving on to adjournment. Mrs. Kroger moved to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Boehner, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's it.